A crash site found near Marsh Harbor. New tonight, 2 days after a search and rescue mission was called off, the body of a man is found in Abaco waters, believed to be that of a missing pilot. And on Eleuthera, a glimmer of hope on the horizon for residents. During persistent power outages, a top BPL executive says relief expected by the end of September. And 2 suspects being sought after an alleged graveyard incident. A woman sexually assaulted. Then in Our News at 7:30, pleading for more time. Residents in a Cowpen Road shanty town facing eviction make the familiar appeal. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kendino Knowles. A crash site found in Abaco this afternoon, just days after an American pilot was reported missing from an overdue flight from Florida over the weekend. The missing pilot, who authorities say was flying a white, red, and blue striped 2-seater aircraft, departed Sebastian, Florida around 9 a.m. on Sunday en route to Marsh Harbor, Abaco, but never arrived. While there is no official confirmation yet, it is believed that this crash site could be connected to the missing plane and pilot. Our news anchor, Megan Shepard, and cameraman Simeon Newbold, they're on the scene in Abaco. Investigators there are currently assessing the site where the lifeless body of a Caucasian male was found. Chief Superintendent Will Hart spoke exclusively with Our News this afternoon.
Investigation started yesterday when one of the relatives of the pilot wasn't heard from. She didn't hear from him as yet. Since then, we launched an investigation into the missing plane. This investigation led us to a crash site that's about 5 miles off Marsh Harbor Airport. Officers went and did a search there along with the fire search and rescue from Abaco and regular concerned citizens, where we was able to discover a male on a crash site. At this time now, particulars are sketchy. This is an initial part of the investigation. Only thing you said is he's a male.
All right, now this is a developing story. Be sure and stay tuned to ournews.bs and, of course, all of our social media platforms for the latest on this story. Police are searching for 2 men accused of sexually assaulting a 28-year-old woman near a graveyard on August Street. Police say the woman reported the assault shortly after 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Authorities tell us they are actively pursuing promising leads in the case. And on Eleuthera, there appears to be a glimmer of hope on the horizon for residents there, as a top BPL executive says relief from the ongoing power woes is expected by the end of September. New generation capacity is anticipated to handle the increased summer demand. This follows complaints from businesses about losing customers while residents struggle with sweltering heat and frequent daily outages. Bethany McDermott has the latest.
Our commitment to our customers is reliable, sustainable power in Eleuthera before the end of the summer.
Eleuthera residents can expect relief from the ongoing vexing power issues by the end of September, according to Bahama's Power and Light Chief Operating Officer Tony Seymour. This assurance follows complaints from residents who have endured what they described as constant outages, which in some cases have cost them business. Seymour says the plan is to have sufficient generation capacity in the short term.
We plan to install an additional 5 megawatts of generation at our Rock Sound power station to increase reliability of what is considered to be an aging plant. 6 megawatts of rental generation in Hatchet Bay at the Hatchet Bay power station. And we are also upgrading the subsea cable between the mainland Eleuthera and Harbour Island to ensure that we are able to adequately meet the growing demands on Harbour Island. All of these projects are expected to be completed before the end of September 2024.
Our news team visited the island and experienced firsthand the challenges residents face, including witnessing the power being cut at least 3 times in a single day. Government has committed to doing whatever it takes to resolve the issues on the island. This as BPL has sent additional resources to ease the burden on residents.
We are installing an additional 5 megawatts of BPL-owned generation on Harbour Island to meet the demands, which currently exceeds the 6 megawatts of the rental generation currently installed there.
In the meantime, Seymour says BPL will continue to exhaust temporary solutions to get the most out of the existing fleet. She admits outages may occur but assures the additional spares and replacement parts will be made available for swift repairs.
We want to ensure our customers that work is being done in Eleuthera. Admittedly, we have challenges with procuring parts, considering the long lead times in some cases and the significant financial outlay required for many of these projects.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks, Berthany. And while BPL deals with that issue over on Eleuthera, labor relations between the union and executives at BPL said to be stable, at least for now. A lot of turbulent times lately between the two sides playing out in the media over proposed reforms at the power company and the new energy plan. Bahamas Electrical Workers Union President Kyle Wilson accusing BPL of keeping workers in the dark over these plans and threatening action in response. When questioned by reporters today, however, the Chief Operating Officer Tony Seymour describing the situation at this point as stable with the two sides meeting regularly.
I would say presently industrial relations between the executives and the unions are stable. We meet with both unions regularly as it relates to the reform and the integration of Pike. Those discussions are being held at a governmental level, and Minister Colby Davis, I think, issued a press release recently as to how that framework will look. So unions are also meeting with her and Prime Minister Davis to iron out whatever those particular industrial relation matters are at this time.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Kendino, and happy Thursday evening, everybody. A rinse and repeat of what we had yesterday. Showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. We had severe thunderstorm warnings issued for portions of the northwest Bahamas. We'll show that in our satellite picture. But it is a cool 85 degrees, even though it's on the humid side outside. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies. The winds out of the south-southwest at 8 miles per hour. But it's making it feel like a rather comfortable 88 degrees compared to what we were feeling for the last couple of days. Right now it's 87 in Freeport, Governor's Harbor 87, 85 Allenstown, Bimini, some showers and some isolated thunderstorms nearby. Great Harbor Key 85, 86 in the Big Yard, Nicholstown, Andros 85 here in the capital. Into the Central Bahamas 89 in Kemps Bay, Georgetown, Arthurstown, Cat Island, Coburn Townsend, Salvador, and in Deadman's Key. You are all 84. And into the Southeast Bahamas 85 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, Abrahams Bay, Providenciales, and in Matthewtown, Inagua. Pair of 84s, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, and my favorite spot, Delectable Bay. You are all 84 at this hour. Sideline radar composite. Unsettled weather pattern across us. Trailing trough and moisture associated with Debbie is still extending across our area. We also have that upper level system out there that's helping to trigger some showers and thunderstorms. That will continue to support this unsettled weather pattern for us tonight through tomorrow. So we're looking for more showers and some isolated thunderstorms in the forecast. Showers will be locally heavy and the thunderstorms strong to severe times. We could see some flooding once again in the forecast. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us to look at your extended forecast that's still to come.
Thanks, Greg. And still to come on Our News, Tanisha Cartwright eliminated in the repechage round for the 100-meter hurdle semifinals. This is Devin Charlton and Charisma Taylor get in formation for a win. Find out more in Our Sports at 7 as first-time Olympians also recap their experience in Paris. Our News is back in less than 4 minutes.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision is actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th only on RTV.
The Paradise Hotel.
When can I sell?
Is this what the hotel is really worth?
The kids find themselves on more exciting island adventures.
So stay tuned for some really hot new episodes.
This is 242 The Gospel.
this video need to show us on a different scale. It has to be
Extra.
What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I right here on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
Happiest, most peaceful, most congenial of all countries in the Western Hemisphere today was how the Prime Minister, Mr. Lyndon Pinding, described it in an Eve of Independence news conference. The preacher spoke of the Bahamians as a holy nation and a peculiar people, dependent now only on God.
At the gateway to the Americas.
This update from the Paris Olympics is powered by Bahama Striping Group of Companies.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Tanisha Cartwright came up short in her bid to become the third Bahamian to qualify for the 100-meter hurdle semifinals. Cartwright hit the second hurdle, fell behind early, and finished 7th in her heat of the repechage round.
Devin Charlton and Charisma Taylor will run in the semifinals of the 100-meter hurdles tomorrow at 6:05 local time.
And I just told myself, I'm not going to leave here without anything. So if that's making the final, that's making the final. If that's making the semifinal and PBing, that's that. But my goal is just to make myself, my coach proud, my family proud, because they're here.
Yeah, I think so. You know, she's one of the better ones coming into the competition. So I think just being able to match up so quick in the competition, get an idea of where I'm at and what I need to work on, it's a good yardstick.
Several first-time Olympians came up short in their bid to make the finals in their debut, but walked away with high expectations for their Olympic futures.
For me, it's one of my best seasons, in my opinion. I went through a lot of adversity and all, but coming outdoors, I did achieve most of my goals, so time for next season.
It's been a long year. I've been running since January. I'm running fast since January. My first time ever going this long in season, third year in the sport. Next year going to be different, but on the world stage. Then 2028 definitely going to be something different, but I ain't coming to play with nobody.
In the Summer of Thunder, women's basketball took center stage at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. The visiting North Carolina A&T Aggies dominated the New Providence Women's Basketball Association All-Stars 109-42. The All-Stars roster featured mostly high school players, but were led by Valerie Nesbitt with 20 points, 7 steals, and 4 assists.
That'll do it for Our Sports at 7. This is 10YS. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as triathlon athletes fall ill after swimming in the Seine River at the Paris Olympics this week. Plus, the U.S. presidential debate is officially on. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris agree to face off on September 10th. And the Dominican military says 14 decomposed bodies discovered on a boat in waters just off the island. We'll tell you what else forensic investigators have found when Our News returns.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision's actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th, only on RTV.
The Paradise Hotel.
When can I sell? Is this what the hotel is really worth?
The kids find themselves on more exciting island adventures.
So stay tuned for some really hot new episodes.
This is 242 the Gospel.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
Extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you with?
I read you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
Happiest, most peaceful, most congenial of all countries in the Western Hemisphere today was how the Prime Minister, Mr. Lyndon Pinding, described it in an Eve of Independence news conference. The preacher spoke of the Bahamians as a holy nation and a peculiar people, dependent now only on God.
At the gateway to the Americas, on the picturesque island of Grand Bahama, a pioneering initiative is taking shape. Lucaya Solar Power Limited presents the $15 million Lucaya Solar Power Project, the first of its kind in the Bahamas' energy landscape. The state-of-the-art solar farm.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Two Portuguese triathletes, Vasco Vilaçao and Melanie Santos, reportedly fell ill after swimming in the Seine River during the Paris 2024 Olympics on August 5th. Euronews reports both athletes developed gastrointestinal infections. Belgium's Claire Michel also fell ill and withdrew from the mixed relay event, contributing to a wave of sickness among competitors. The Seine, traditionally too toxic for swimming, reportedly underwent a €1.4 billion renovation to address water quality concerns. Former U.S. President Donald Trump confirmed Thursday he will debate Vice President Kamala Harris on September 10th and suggested additional debates in September on Fox, NBC, and ABC. The Harris campaign has not yet confirmed these plans, although Harris and her new running mate, Governor Tim Walz, supported, or have been campaigning, that is, across the Midwest, clashing with Republican VP nominee J.D. Vance. Despite previously supporting Walz's response to the violence after George Floyd's murder, Trump now criticizing Walz's handling of the situation. And forensic investigators in the Dominican Republic trying to identify at least 14 decomposed bodies discovered on an abandoned vessel 10 nautical miles from its northern coast. The Dominican Navy says it believes the remains are from individuals from Senegal and Mauritania, based on documentation that was found. They say they are investigating the cause of death and whether 12 packages on the boat contain illicit drugs. Well, the Bahamas, no stranger to the issue of food security, and this week, ministers from across the Caribbean gathering in the capital to tackle one of the primary causes of food instability. That's land degradation. Well, in tonight's edition of Sustainability First, Marlena Leonard explains the global impact.
Caribbean ministers responsible for the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification and Drought are in New Providence this week for a preparatory meeting ahead of COP16 in December. Their goal? To develop policies that can guide negotiations, and their focus? To improve land degradation neutrality. But what is land degradation and why does it matter? Put simply, it can be things like declined biodiversity and soil fertility, erosion, increased pollution, or even desertification. And the stakes are high. In fact, it's one of the biggest threats to food security around the world. In the Bahamas, where food security is a major concern, efforts are underway to enhance food sovereignty and reduce reliance on imports. The UNCCD is currently aiding 131 countries in reversing land degradation, aiming for significant progress within the decade. Executive Secretary Ibrahim Thia emphasizes the need for a collective effort in this global challenge.
So it is important that we all think as one planet. Regardless of where we live in the world, we are so interconnected. When a situation occurs in a country where food insecurity is threatening that country, you know it is having a rippling effect on multiple other countries from around the world. We are so connected to nature. We do not seem to understand that any action on nature anywhere in the world will have an impact everywhere else in the world.
Reporting for Our News and reminding you to put sustainability first, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Still to come in Our News, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was August 8th. Then in Our News at 7:30, we'll tell you the 36-year-old behind bars accused of molesting a 3-year-old toddler. This as investigators from the United Kingdom expected in town next week to assist in the probe into the former CID chief. When Our News returns.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision's actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th, only on RTV.
The Paradise Hotel.
When can I sell? Is this what the hotel is really worth?
The kids find themselves on more exciting island adventures.
So stay tuned for some really hot new episodes.
This is 242 the gospel.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
Extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I read you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need you 25 cents no more.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
On this day in Bahamian history in 1826, poor Black Kate, who was an enslaved girl of the Moss Plantation on Crooked Island, was released. The Historical Society notes she was placed in the stocks as punishment for theft, insubordination, and insolence by Henry and Helen Moss. She was kept in the stocks for 17 days and was only let out to be whipped. As further punishment, she was sent to work in the cotton fields before she had fully recovered. She collapsed that morning after being beaten again for being unable to work and died a few hours later. Kate's owners were charged with 5 months in prison and a £300 fine. However, then Governor Grant tried to have it all remitted. And finally, in 2016, Renward Wells became the leader of opposition business for the Free National Movement in the House of Assembly. The promotion came just days after Central Grand Bahama MP Nico Grant stepped down. Grant gave up his position as he and 6 other FNM members openly criticized then FNM leader Dr. Hubert Minnis. Wells, who was then MP for Bamboo Town, joined the FNM after leaving the PLP amid a $600 million controversy over a letter of intent with Stella Waste to Energy. All right, to watch that historical recap again, and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs, and remember, you can share your favorite stories right from the Our News Bahamas Facebook page. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Marlena Leonard with the latest headlines. Marlena, happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, Ken. Well, I'm really happy the weekend is almost here, but tonight we have some pretty serious stories ahead of us. First, we're going to tell you about the 36-year-old behind bars accused of molesting a 3-year-old toddler. Plus, investigators from the UK expected in town next week. Here are your latest headlines. Tonight on Our News. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, a crash site found after a pilot flying from Florida to Abaco was reported missing. Our Megan Shepard is on the ground in Marsh Harbor tonight following this story. And investigators from the United Kingdom on their way to oversee investigations into the leaked voice notes of a conversation allegedly involving a senior police official. Plus, the Grand Bahama Port Authority saying the request by the Grand Bahama Power Company to increase the base rate on power has not yet been approved. And our Joshua Williams speaks to residents in a Cowpen Road shantytown served with a 28-day eviction notice. Occupants are already asking for more time. All that and more when Our News Live at 7:30 returns.
Happiest, most peaceful, most congenial of all countries in the Western Hemisphere today was how the Prime Minister, Mr. Lyndon Pinding, described it in an Eve of Independence news conference. The preacher spoke of the Bahamians as a holy nation and a peculiar people, dependent now only on God.
At the gateway to the Americas, on the picturesque island of Grand Bahama, a pioneering initiative is taking shape. Lucaya Solar Power Limited presents the $15 million Lucaya Solar Power Project, the first of its kind in the Bahamas' energy landscape. The state-of-the-art solar farm on the Fairfield and Devon sites spans just over 30 acres, and once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate over 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. The Lucaya Solar Project is a pivotal step towards diversifying the country's energy sources and significantly reducing dependency on fossil fuels. It's more than just a project, it's a commitment to a greener, more sustainable future. Lucaya Solar Power Limited, powered by INTI, powering your world, powering your future.
Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task. Turning off lights when you leave a room. Unplugging appliances not in use. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Take this journey with us as we build for better. BPL.
I love my EV. I am Generation E.
I am Generation E.
I am Generation E.
And I am Generation E.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Marlena Leonard. A crash site discovered in Abaco this afternoon, days after an American pilot was reported missing on an overdue flight from Florida over the weekend. The missing pilot, flying a white, red, and blue striped two-seater aircraft, left Sebastian, Florida around 9 a.m. Sunday en route to Marsh Harbor, Abaco, but never arrived. Now, although there's no official confirmation, it is believed this could be that missing plane and pilot. Our News anchor Megan Shepard and cameraman Simeon Newbold on the scene in Abaco. Investigators could be seen conducting their initial assessment of the site as the lifeless body of a Caucasian male was found. Officer in charge Chief Superintendent Will Hart spoke to Our News exclusively on the scene this afternoon.
Investigation started yesterday when one of the relatives of the pilot wasn't heard from. She didn't hear from him as yet. Since then, we launched an investigation into the missing plane. This investigation led us to a crash site that's about 5 miles off Marsh Harbor Airport. Officers went and did a search there along with the fire search and rescue from Abaco and regular concerned citizens, where we was able to discover a male on a crash site. At this time now, particulars are sketchy. This is the initial part of the investigation. Only thing we said is he's a male.
36-year-old Alex Roll is behind bars tonight after prosecutors say he touched a 3-year-old toddler in a sexual way between July 1st to 31st of 2024. Charged with indecent assault, Roll was not required to plead when he stood before Magistrate Anishka Isaacs. Bail was denied and the matter was adjourned to November 6th. And the clock is ticking for Shantytown residents living in an area off Cowpen Road with a 28-day notice for eviction. But the occupants are already asking for more time. Our Joshua Williams visited the area today.
Curious eyes greeted us as my cameraman Steve and I entered what's known as the T-Wash Shantytown of Cowpen Road. On the home's 28-day eviction notices before illegal structures are torn down. It's a continuation of the Shantytown's Task Force demolition program. This gentleman I met took us through the village, cramped pathways, clothes hanging across the way, muddy terrain, and residents going about their normal cooking and cleaning duties. Our guide and translator says, like him, many have nowhere to go.
Anywhere I go now, they say one is warm, probably $1,000, $2,000 deposit. That get very, very, very hard.
As we continued through the village, we came upon this mother in a house who spoke to us off camera.
My children born here. I'm married to Bahamian. I'm a citizen, and my 2 kids have Bahamian passport. Why I can't have no right in the country? I understand I ain't supposed to build on Crown land, but it happened.
In other shanty towns I visited, residents have complained of having to pay rent to Bahamian landowners.
There's a yard. Understand? There's some people, they build house, they rent house, they don't pay. Understand? That ain't good things. They rent people house, they collect money every month, they don't pay. I am mad at.
Drone footage shows a tightly packed area of structures. Our guide estimates some 200 structures housing hundreds, many of them permit holders. This living situation you see here is similar to what we've seen in other shanty towns. I barely can stretch my hand across 2 houses, and they're right next to each other. Even getting water is a task. They tell me they draw it from wells like this one, which can be a challenge.
There you go. Oh, and then,
yeah, and
then you put it up. Yeah, you put it out. Yeah.
Wow. And just like all the other shanty towns, the cry for more time is heard again.
I don't mind their break, at least they could have put you on a home or have you somewhere.
Okay, try to find this place. If they give me like 6 months or 1 year, I think that can be better.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Investigators from the United Kingdom are on their way here to oversee investigations into those highly controversial voice notes, which eventually led to the head of CID being put on paid leave. Delvardo Emmanuel fills us in.
The statement from police confirms UK-based investigators will arrive next week to begin investigating this widely publicized and controversial case. Police Commissioner Clayton Fernanda confirming senior officials from the United Kingdom's National Crime Agency, NCA, are personally overseeing investigations into the leaked voice notes of a conversation allegedly between CID Chief Michael Johnson, a lawyer, and two murdered suspects, Michael Fox Jr. and Dino Smith. The commissioner, through the statement, describes the arrival of these NCA officials as a significant step to ensure a thorough and impartial investigation into the allegations against former CID Chief Johnson. The NCA team will include John Michael McKeon, the head of NCA's anti-corruption unit, Andrew John Black, a senior investigator, and Francisco Savaki Kiriou, an NCA investigator based in Miami. They are scheduled in town August 14th to the 17th. In contrast, opposition leader Michael Pintard has criticized the government for what he describes as a lack of urgency and transparency over investigation. Pintard says he's concerned that the public confidence in the law enforcement policymakers and the entire criminal justice system is being undermined. He highlighted recent murders that might be linked to the investigation and questioned whether Minister of National Security and the Prime Minister will address the growing trust issues among the public. Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvardo Emmanuel.
The request by the Grand Bahama Power Company to increase the base rate on power has not been approved just yet. A statement by the Grand Bahama Port Authority regulatory team says that they have not approved the request for a rate increase. The port maintains it has always been and still is the sole exclusive licensor and regulator for all utilities in the port area. There is a 45-day consultation period which includes public feedback. A final decision is expected December 1st. Well, we had more torrential rain in the nation's capital today. Joining us now is meteorologist Greg Thompson in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Marlene, and a happy Thursday evening, everybody. Showers and thunderstorms once again plaguing the northwest Bahamas, courtesy of that troughing and some moisture still associated with debris hanging across the area. That's left us with some partly cloudy to cloudy skies, humid conditions on the outside. 85 degrees is our current temperature. Winds out of the south-southwest at 8 miles per hour. But it's rather comfortable now versus yesterday. We were feeling the 90s. Now it feels like 88 degrees on the outside. Satellite radar composite. That moisture plume still hanging out across our area. That is generating some showers and thunderstorms. That's also combining with that upper level low, and that helps to destabilize our atmosphere. So we're seeing showers and thunderstorms in the forecast once again, and we will continue to see that trend through tonight and into tomorrow before things start to cloud. Debris will be continuing to pull away from us, so this moisture plume should exit our area by the weekend. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. Look at your extended forecast. It's still to come.
Still to come on Our News, our new weekly series, City in Focus, the story of Freeport, continues. Tonight, a GBPA shareholder shares his vision for the city. This, as the GBPA chairman says, she believes the government's claims of owed money is due in part to frustration over the state of the island's economy. That's coming up when Our News returns.
At the gateway to the Americas, on the picturesque island of Grand Bahama, a pioneering initiative is taking shape. Lucaya Solar Power Limited presents the $15 million Lucaya Solar Power Project, the first of its kind in the Bahamas' energy landscape. The state-of-the-art solar farm on the Fairfield and Devon sites spans just over 30 acres, and once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate over 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. The Lucaya Solar Project is a pivotal step towards diversifying the country's energy sources and significantly reducing dependency on fossil fuels. It's more than just a project. It's a commitment to a greener, more sustainable future. Lucaya Solar Power Limited, powered by Inti. Powering your world, powering your future.
Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task. Turning off lights when you leave a room. Unplugging appliances not in use. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Take this journey with us as we build for better. BPL.
I love my EV. I am Generation E.
I am Generation E.
I am Generation E.
And I am Generation E.
Well, what you doing here?
I dig in the well to connect to the house of building for me and Mavis.
Why you just don't call water and sewage?
Call them for what?
To get your city water. You don't have to worry about your water cutting off when the power cut off. And your water's clean and safe, free from coliform bacteria.
Cauliflower what?
Call us at 302-5500 to make the switch from well water to city water for a more fresh, reliable water supply for you and your family.
Tonight, we continue our new weekly series, City in Focus, the story of Freeport, sponsored by the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Last night, we introduced you to one of the shareholders of the GBPA, Rupert Hayward, the grandson of Sir Jack Hayward, who shared the history of the distinguished regulatory body from his perspective. Tonight, he continues his story and says he has a vision for the city that will take the island to higher heights. Our Italia Hall reports.
80%, I think, of the infrastructure that we see today was put in place in the 50s and the 60s.
Rupert Hayward, a shareholder of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, emphasizes how the city of Freeport was meticulously planned, the maritime and industrial sectors key contributors to the island's economy.
We do a lot of these investments through our subsidiaries and our joint venture companies.
Unfortunately, in the early 2000s, the Northern Island was hit hard by the twin storms Francis and Jean. These devastating storms caused a significant decline in the island's economy. This decline has led to considerable criticism directed at the Port Authority.
There's a common misconception that we're responsible for aviation and airports. We're not, and we never have been. That's not to say that we haven't built hospitals and we haven't provided healthcare and we haven't built airports. In fact, we rebuilt the airport 3 times after various storms.
But to better understand the story of Freeport, we look back in time when the PLP won majority rule in 1967. For the next 2 years, the Hawksbill Creek Agreement became a point of contention with the new government. Soon after, the regulatory powers GBPA once held were all removed.
So we changed from being a one-stop shop developer to being facilitators of foreign direct investment.
Amid ongoing debates with governments, some have observed that the vision at the Grand Bahama Port Authority appears to have diminished over the years, particularly with the St. George and Haywood families' descendants now leading the organization.
I understand why people would say that. What I think was lost, and what I think is absolutely critical, as I've said, for the success of Freeport, is the government relations.
There's also been news of $2 billion worth of investment in the pipeline in Freeport, with several ongoing infrastructure projects being built simultaneously. For years, we've been hearing about these investments. How do you get Grand Bahamians to understand that? I think after facing so much devastation at this point, they've run out of patience.
Yeah, I don't think, Grand Bahamians don't want excuses. You know, they want results. The focus right now is working every day with these entities to make sure that these projects come to fruition.
Despite its economic challenges, Hayward says he remains optimistic.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision's actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was. You know, this is, and I'm committed to a life of service.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Italia Hall.
The chairman of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Sarah St. George, daughter of the late Edward St. George, one of the architects of the GBPA, believes the standoff with the government and the port is due in large part to the economic situation on the island. St. George, speaking exclusively with our Jerome Sawyer in tonight's episode of On the Record, says she believes the government's claims that the port owes $300 million in unmet obligations is due in part to frustration over the state of the island's economy.
In my father's era, there was no Ministry of Grand Bahama. This has come latterly. And so now you have the Port Authority and the Grand Bahama Ministry often overlapping things, or maybe not enough of the things that people are expecting. And you start to need to have a very strong working relationship, to be able to piece it all together, and for there to be that comfort with the Port Authority working hand in hand with the government. Now, that's obviously the ideal world. That's where you want to be. What's happened recently? I think it was to some extent it's a natural consequence of the downturn in the economy that happened following the 2 hurricanes and COVID. People are struggling. There's unhappiness, and everyone wants somebody to blame.
Well, for the full interview, tune in to On the Record tonight, starting at 8 p.m. You can also watch it streaming live on the Our News Bahamas Facebook page.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
Coming up in sports, heartbreaking the hurdles, and we hear from some of our first-time Olympians on their experience in Paris.
And after days of torrential showers, Greg is back in the Weather Center with your extended look at weather. We have the details when Our News returns.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision's actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th, only on RTV.
The Paradise Hotel.
When can I sell?
Is this what the hotel is really worth?
The kids find themselves on more exciting island adventures.
So stay tuned for some really hot new episodes.
This is 242 the gospel.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
extra.
What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you with?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
This update from the Paris Olympics is powered by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
Welcome to All Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Denisha Cartwright entered her heat of the 100-meter hurdles with the fastest qualifying time, had an early lead, and then Murphy's Law kicked in. Cartwright clipped the second hurdle and was unable to recover to catch the remainder of the field. She eventually finished 7th in Heat 3 of the repechage round in 13.45 seconds and did not advance to the semifinals.
Devin Charlton and Charisma Taylor will take the track in the 100-meter hurdle semifinals tomorrow at 6:05 a.m. local time. Charlton finished 2nd in Heat 5 in 12.71 seconds to earn an automatic qualification.
It was a solid race. I feel I could have done a couple things better, but overall,
decent execution for such an early morning. I think it'll be better in the semis and then again in the final.
In the fastest heat of the preliminaries, Taylor finished 4th in 12.71 seconds to advance.
I feel like waiting in the waiting room to see if I made the semifinal was more nerve-wracking than actually being in the race. So I feel like my race felt good, a little small technical errors that I could fix up for the semifinals. But all in all, I'm very happy, I'm very blessed, I'm very thankful to God and my coaches, my support system and everyone. It's just very, 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 I guess I'm at peace. Like, I'm very happy and I'm content.
Team Bahamas featured 12 first-time Olympians this year in Paris, and many were left optimistic about their future Olympic experiences. Wanye McCoy finished 5th in the first semi-final of the 200 meters and 18th overall in 20.61 seconds.
I learned to learn how to run my own race and block out the noise. I mean, I did it pretty good today, but I had to run a lane 9, so they kind of used me, got the curve. So I had to learn how to run on the outside rather than just wanting to chase somebody all the time, because I prefer to chase someone.
Antoine Andrews finished 8th in the first semi-final of the 110-meter hurdles and 18th overall in 13.43 seconds.
I just want to take this race as an experience. Cambodia, first Olympian. Only 21 years old. Can't be briefly blessed.
In the javelin, Remo Tabor had a top throw of 57.67 meters to finish 13th in Group A.
It definitely adds to the exposure that I currently have, and so this is another. I could say this is my second meet being at such a large stage, so it's going to just make me more comfortable for when bigger stages come also along the way, but this one I really wanted.
In the Summer of Thunder, women's basketball took center stage at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. The visiting North Carolina A&T Aggies dominated the New Providence Women's Basketball Association All-Stars 109-42. The All-Stars roster featured mostly high school players, but were led by Valerie Nesbitt with 20 points, 7 steals, and 4 assists.
That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. You know, I still say if we had a 4x1 hurdles relay, that's our event right there.
We would get a medal.
We still might. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, will it be rain or shine? Greg is back in the Weather Center with your extended forecast in just a moment when Our News returns.
The Paradise Hotel.
When can I sell?
Is this what the hotel is really worth?
The kids find themselves on more exciting island adventures.
So stay tuned for some really hot new episodes.
This is 242 the Gospel.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be extra.
What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you with?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need you 25 cents no more.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
This is Our News. Welcome back. Well, Debbie is still plaguing us with some trailing moisture across the area, but it's dumping quite a bit of rainfall still across portions of the southeast United States. Anticipate the system to be downgraded to a tropical depression if it has not already done so at this time. Present position, 34.8 degrees north, 80.2 west. Winds are down to 40 miles per hour. Your gusts up to 52. Once again, as I mentioned, this system is likely to be dropped to or downgraded to a tropical depression later on tonight. That moisture plume still hanging out across that area, and that's continuing to interact with an upper level low that's spinning just to the east of the Bahamas, and that's triggering quite a bit of showers and thunderstorms. Mainly across the northwest Bahamas, we still have a plume that's hanging out just to the east of the islands Inagua, the Turks and Caicos Islands, you guys got some showers and thunderstorms earlier today. Most of that should be waning over the next 24 to 48 hours as Debbie continues to pull away from us, so that moisture plume will be exiting our area by the weekend. In the tropics, quiet across the area. We're seeing a couple of tropical waves out there, and of course that one that is in the Western Caribbean should be moving into the Gulf of Mexico, but the National Hurricane Center has dropped that. But in the meantime, we will continue to watch that area that we mentioned last evening. By next week, the National Hurricane Center has now upped the chances to a 40% chance for formation, so we will continue to watch this one very closely as it is expected to get in our neck of the woods by the middle to the end of next week. Taking a look at our future forecast, moisture associated with that trailing plume across our area, associated with Debbie, still generating some showers and thunderstorms overnight. Most of the activity will be waning, but by tomorrow we expect showers once again in the forecast, and then it won't be until Friday, late Friday into Saturday, when we start to see things clear up across our area. Boating forecast, much improved conditions over the northwest and central Bahamas. More southerly flow, winds will be up to 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Your high tide is at 11:20 tonight, low tide at 5:40 in the morning. Southeast Bahamas, east to southeasterly wind flow 10 to 15 knots, seas running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we'll keep the showers in the forecast one more day. Friday, we are looking for some much improved conditions by Saturday. Lingering moisture across the area on Sunday, but temperatures will be back into the 90s, and it's possible that we could see heat indices reaching the triple digits once again. That's a look at our weather. Make it a great night. Stay safe, everybody.
Well, thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Marlena Leonard. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening and stay tuned for On the Record with Jerome Sawyer starting